before this video begins, we shall all pause and pay homage to Candace and Adam, the honorary Magnusites of the day. Go now and live your lives in magnificence. I'm getting ready to whoop this nigga's ass. Get that and that, my belt. Let's get it. Woo! Okay, so I couldn't believe this when I found out, but it's time for some wild world news. And this is definitely wild world news because, you know, comic book movies are global entertainment. And it says here that DC fans have started a petition to shut down Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I first saw this in my Twitter feed from a subscriber. They were like, what do you think about the petition start? I was like, there was a petition started? Okay, let's take a look at this article. As soon as I typed it into Google, the first site that came up was Screen Crush. And it says here, we've seen this before and not even that long ago. Disgruntled DC fans railing against critics for negative reviews of a new film before it even hits theaters, before those fans have even seen the film for themselves. That's true. That happened the other day when I did my video. Anyway, it happened with Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and it's happening again with Suicide Squad, as fans take to social media to bash critics for what they perceive to be unfair reviews based on personal biases against superhero films, or DC movies specifically. But this time they have a petition and a misguided plan to solve this crisis in the film community. Some DC fans have started a change.org petition. I gotta see this right here. Let me see how many hits they got so far. Let me see this before I finish the article. While it's loading, because my computer's doing a bunch of things right now, it says, you know, change.org, the place where you go to have your voice heard to affect change on a social political level, to right the great injustices of the world, like negative reviews of DC superhero movies. The petition currently has over 12,000 signatures and a delightful mission statement calling for the end of review aggregation site, Rotten Tomatoes. Now here's what the quote says. It says, we need this site to be shut down because its critics always give the DC Extended Universe movies unjust bad reviews, like Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice and Suicide Squad. And that affects people's opinion, even if it's a really great movie. So let me see here. They have 17,616 supporters right now. I think you guys are going to need a whole lot more before you can get Rotten Tomatoes shut down. It says, this does not appear to be a well thought out plan. Shutting Rotten Tomatoes down obviously isn't going to shut down every publication that hosts film reviews. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't publish their own reviews. They merely serve to helpfully aggregate them in one convenient place, using an algorithm to reduce a film to a simple, fresh, or rotten rating with a numerical score. The petition isn't entirely surprising, but it sort of is astounding in its ignorance, not only of how Rotten Tomatoes operates, but what film criticism actually is. It's an opinion. Of course it's biased because it's an individual opinion based on said individual's particular tastes and experiences. You don't have to agree with a review, and a review is not an objective, definitive judgment on a film's quality. Your mileage will undoubtedly vary, which is true. This is very true. It seems kind of nuts that people still need this concept of having an opinion explained to them in such simple terms. It's even more crazy that there are people on the internet at this very moment who are bullying film critics. And in some unfortunate cases, using threats of violence just because those critics didn't enjoy a film that hasn't even come out yet. A film that the angry fan in question hasn't even seen yet, but has already come to the conclusion that the film is great. I was getting that when I was just talking about how that person told me it was bad. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's one person's opinion. In this case, the film Suicide Squad, which currently has a 33% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. A few months ago, it was Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, which has a 27% rating. Damn! With its slightly more positive rating of 55%. Man of Steel is currently the best reviewed DC movie, but not by much. That didn't sound like what I just read. Anyway, but not by much. According to DC fans, the reason why critics dislike the movies is because we're biased. Some of them even accuse us of being shills who are paid by Marvel and Disney to bash DC movies. If that seems a bit unbelievable, pick a random negative review of Batman v Superman or Suicide Squad and check out the comments, or head over to Reddit where some DC fans are convinced of this wacky conspiracy. And it doesn't feel all that different from the Ghost Bros, the large male contingency of Ghostbuster fans who were convinced that Paul Feig's reboot was horrible because it had a female cast. They spent months decrying the films sight unseen. Many of them were opposed to the idea that they made the Ghostbusters reboot trailer and most disliked and it's the most disliked trailer of all time on YouTube, before turning their bizarrely hateful attention into the film's rating on IMDb. It's okay to disagree with critics, okay? If you like a movie that most critics despised, or if you hate a movie that a lot of critics seem to enjoy, that doesn't make you wrong, and it doesn't make us wrong. What is wrong is when anticipation for a film is so high that the fans become irrationally invested in its perception and mistake opinion for objective fact, lashing out at anyone who disagrees. That's a dangerous way to engage with people. You know what? This article was very correct with a lot of things. You know, sometimes, like when Man of Steel wasn't getting as great reviews as I thought it was, when Batman v Superman wasn't getting as great reviews as what I thought they were, it didn't matter to me, because guess what? I'm a Superman fan. I am a DC fan. I am a superhero fan. So it could have been Captain America Civil War getting bad reviews. It could have been any other type of superhero movie, whether it was Marvel or DC. I'm going to see it based on my want to see it. You get what I'm saying here? You guys that have this petition to shut it down, I don't exactly think that, well, first off, you can see that it's not making any headway. It's not going anywhere. I mean, you would have to have millions of petition, of signatures to try and get Rotten Tomatoes shut the fuck down. I mean, that's just not going to happen. You want to make the movie successful? Go and see it. Okay? Go and see it. All right? Yes, I know that there are some people that probably take film critic reviews as gospel, but I don't know any of them. And the majority of people, all the people that I know that I've ever talked about film critics reviews with, they don't trust film critics. I'll never forget when I was a kid, I remember, I don't remember what movie specifically, but I remember watching Siskel and Ebert. It was a movie that I was really excited about. And I remember watching Siskel and Ebert and a few other movie reviewers, and I remember didn't watch any other than them, but I've read a few in the paper. And I remember all they were giving it bad reviews. And I remember thinking to myself at that time, and I was a teenager, and I remember thinking, they don't know what they're talking about. I'll never trust movie reviewers again. I remember thinking that to myself. And I haven't since. I always watch movie reviews after I've seen it to see what they think. Because sometimes their opinion will help me to see a movie in a different way. Like sometimes they'll bring out good things that I didn't notice. Sometimes they'll bring out things that were bad that I didn't notice, and I'll think, and I'll like, yeah, they're right, or I'll be like, no, they were wrong. Not in my opinion, that wasn't a bad fucking scene or idea. So DC fans, calm the fuck down, okay? Look what I'm wearing. I'm with y'all. But I'm also a superhero fan first. A superhero movie fan first. Go see it. If you love it, go see it as many times as you want to see it, okay? The truth will shine through, okay? Batman v Superman was a fan's film. The fans, it was like 60-something%, okay? So there you go. There you have it. Most fans loved it. And that's what, me personally as a fan, I care about. Although my opinion matters the most because I'm the one that's spending the money and I'm the one that may buy the movie and want to watch it in my leisure. But when fans love it, there's that camaraderie. There's that feeling like yes, they made this movie for us. And fuck the layman and what the layman thinks that don't really know about this character. They made this movie for us. It worked and it made money and there's going to be a sequel made. That's how I felt about Batman v Superman. So don't worry about it. I'm going to see Suicide Squad tomorrow, and I'll have bells on, and I'll be ready to enjoy the movie. And I will give a honest movie review when I get back. Post all your comments down below. Let me know what you think about this. Are you for or against the petition? 1 million subscribers. Woo! You may now subscribe.